The sky was still dark when Amara lifted her shovel, her arms trembling from days of endless labor. Around her, men grunted and cursed as they stacked heavy blocks. Yet none of them worked harder than she did. She was the only woman at the site, and every day they mocked her for it. "Why is such a beautiful girl doing this kind of work?" one worker sneered. Another shook his head. "She's stronger than half of us here. It's unbelievable." Their words stung, but Amara ignored them. Every blister on her hands, every ache in her back was for her father. At home, Papa Uche lay weak and frail on a bamboo bed inside their small mud house. Once a respected teacher whose voice commanded attention, he was now reduced to whispers, his strength stolen by illness. Mama Uche never left his side. She fed him watery porridge, wiped his forehead, and prayed through her tears, "God, please don't take him yet. Please help us." When Amara returned each evening, covered in cement dust, her mother often looked at her with sorrow. But Amara always forced a smile. "Don't worry, Mama. I'll keep working until Papa stands again." She had given up her youth, her school, her dreams. While other girls her age planned weddings and posted pictures of themselves in bright gowns, Amara labored beneath the blazing sun, lifting stones larger than her hopes. But hope itself was the one treasure she refused to surrender. That afternoon, the sound of an engine silenced the workers. A sleek black SUV rolled into the site, raising clouds of dust. Out stepped a woman whose presence drew every eye. She wore shimmering lace, gold jewelry that clinked with each step, and perfume so strong it seemed to command the air. "It's Madame Ada," the workers whispered. Ada's heels sank slightly into the sand as she approached. Her sunglasses glinted in the sunlight. When her gaze fell on Amara, she paused. "You," she said sharply. "A woman doing this kind of work?" "Yes, ma," Amara replied, lowering her eyes. Ada studied her for a long moment. "You're strong and beautiful, too strong to waste your life on cement and blocks. What if I told you I could change your life?" Amara blinked. "Change my life, Ma. I live in Lagos," Ada continued. "I run businesses. I help girls like you. Come with me. You'll never carry blocks again." That night, Amara rushed home, her face glowing with excitement. "Mama, Papa, Madame Ada said she'll take me to Lagos. She promised me a better job, more money. No more lifting blocks." Mama Uche dropped the spoon she was using to feed Papa Uche. "Lagos?" she whispered, her hands trembling. Papa Uche coughed weakly. "My daughter, be careful. Not everything that glitters is gold." "But Papa, she's from our village. She helps people. I have to try for you." Papa Uche reached out with his trembling hand and placed it on her head. "May you never be disgraced. May the city favor you. May you return greater than you left." Amara's eyes brimmed with tears. "I'll make you proud." The next morning, the compound gathered as Ada's SUV arrived. Amara embraced her parents tightly. "Papa, I'll return with money for your treatment," she whispered. Mama Uche clung to her, weeping. "Don't let the city change your heart." As the SUV pulled away, Amara pressed her face to the window, watching until her parents disappeared from view. Her chest ached, but her heart swelled with hope. The journey to Lagos was long and hot. Amara's eyes stayed glued to the window. She marveled at every town, every billboard, every tall building. When the SUV turned into a gated estate in Lekki, her breath caught. High walls, electric gates, manicured lawns. It was a world she had only seen in films. Inside Ada's mansion, chandeliers glittered, marble floors gleamed, and couches swallowed her whole when she sat. That night, Amara ate juicy chicken legs and slept on a soft mattress with clean sheets. Tears fell silently, not of sorrow, but of hope. Days turned into a week. Amara kept waiting for the promised job, but Ada only smiled. "Relax. Lagos is for enjoyment. You've suffered enough." But Amara's restlessness grew. Each day wasted was another day without medicine for her father. Finally, she asked, "Ma, when will I begin the job?" Ada sipped her wine and smirked. "Tonight. Be ready." Amara's heart leapt. She ironed her only decent dress, imagining herself as a receptionist or hotel cleaner. At 8 o'clock, Ada entered her room and dropped a bag on the bed. "Wear this." Amara opened it and froze. Inside was a tiny red dress, indecently short. "Ma, I don't understand," she whispered. Ada's smile vanished. "You're going out with a guest. He paid for you." Amara's heart pounded. "Paid for me? But I thought—" "You thought wrong," Ada snapped, slamming her glass on the table. "You'll make more in one night than you ever did carrying blocks. Don't be stupid." "I can't," Amara stammered. "I won't." Ada's voice turned cold. "Then get out. Now, before I call security." Moments later, the gate clanged shut behind Amara. She stood barefoot in the cold night, clutching her nylon bag. Just hours earlier, she had been full of hope. Now, she was homeless in a city that didn't know her name. The streets were cruel. Amara walked aimlessly, clutching her bag as headlights cut across her frightened face. Men slowed their cars, calling out to her. "Come with me, beautiful. I'll take care of you." Another leaned from his window, grinning. "You're too fine to be alone at night." Her chest tightened. She kept walking, hugging herself tightly. By midnight, she curled up at a bus stop bench. But soon a group of drunk young men stumbled toward her, their laughter sharp in the silence. One pointed, "She's perfect for tonight." Amara's heart leapt. She grabbed her bag and ran into the darkness, her bare feet slapping the ground. By 2 o'clock, she crouched beside a locked kiosk, mosquitoes biting her skin, her stomach aching with hunger. Tears slipped down her cheeks. "God, what did I do wrong? Please, just help me survive this." For days, she begged for work. "Please, I can sweep. I can wash." Most ignored her. Some men offered money, but only in exchange for her body. She fled each time. At night, she returned to the shadows beneath a bridge. Beggars fought for scraps. Rats scurried nearby. The air smelled of decay. She whispered into the darkness, "I will not die here. I will not give up. I will make Papa proud." Her dignity was the only thing she refused to surrender. By the 5th morning, hunger and exhaustion had carved sharp lines into Amara's once youthful face. She stood by the roadside, watching a group of young hawkers carry bowls filled with sachet water. They balanced them with ease, weaving through chaotic Lagos traffic, their voices sharp. "Cold water. Buy your water." A girl with piercing eyes and a quick tongue noticed her. "Are you here to sell? Or just to beg?" she asked coldly. Amara lowered her voice. "I want to sell." The girl folded her arms. "Do you even have money to buy stock?" Amara shook her head silently. The girl scoffed and turned away. But an elderly woman roasting plantain nearby spoke up. "Give her a chance. Let her try. If she cheats you, curse her." The girl sighed and reluctantly handed Amara a small bowl filled with water sachets. "Bring me 800 naira when you finish. If you spoil anything, you'll regret it." Amara nodded, lifting the bowl carefully onto her head. The weight pressed down on her, but she took a deep breath and stepped into the traffic. Cars honked, bus conductors shouted, and sweat poured down her body. Fear made her legs tremble, but she forced her voice out. Cold water for 50 naira. At the end of the day, her profit was barely enough to buy food, but it was honest. That night, curled under a bridge, she clung to her wrapper and whispered a vow. "I will not sell myself. I will survive this way." The sun was merciless that afternoon. Amara's stomach twisted painfully. She hadn't eaten since dawn. She slipped into a bushy patch by the highway to relieve herself. The air smelled of damp earth and litter. Then she froze. A faint, broken voice pierced the silence. "Help, please don't let me die." Her chest tightened. She turned her head slowly, heart pounding. Again the voice, weaker this time, desperate. She tiptoed forward, pushing past weeds and broken tires. And then she saw him. A man lay crumpled on the ground, his suit torn and blood-soaked. His hands were bound behind his back, his legs tied together. His face was swollen, his shirt clung to him in deep red patches. His lips quivered as he tried to speak again. Amara gasped, her bucket dropping with a thud. The man lifted his head faintly, his eyes struggling to focus. "Please, don't let me die." His voice faded, and he slumped into unconsciousness. Fear gripped her. What if it was a trap? What if the people who left him there returned? But compassion was stronger than fear. She crouched, hooked her arms under his, and dragged him inch by inch toward the roadside. Her body ached, but she kept whispering, "Stay alive. Please stay alive." Cars whizzed past. Drivers stared but didn't stop. Amara stood in the middle of the road, waving frantically. "Please help. Somebody please." At last, an old taxi screeched to a stop. "What is this?" the driver shouted. "Please, sir, he's dying. Take us to the hospital. I'll pay." The driver hesitated. "Hope you can afford it." Amara pulled out her earnings from hawking, every coin she had left. "This is all I have. Please." He studied her, then grudgingly helped her lift the man into the back seat. Amara sat beside him, holding his hand tightly, whispering through tears, "Don't die. Please don't die." At the hospital gate, the taxi driver demanded his fare. Amara handed him all her money. She was left with nothing. Inside the emergency ward, nurses looked up briefly. "Is he your relative?" one asked. "No, but he was left to die." "Please, he needs help," she pleaded. "Where is the deposit?" the nurse replied flatly. "I don't have money left. Please, save him first. I beg you." Her voice cracked as she dropped to her knees, tears streaming. After a tense pause, the doctor rushed over, examined the man, and shouted, "We need to stabilize him now." "But sir," the nurse interrupted, "we need blood. His type is O positive, and our bank is empty." Amara didn't think twice. "Take mine." They stared at her. "Are you sure?" "Yes. Do it. Please." Moments later, a needle drained blood from her weak body into a bag that would soon flow into the stranger. Her vision blurred, her head spun, but she whispered, "God, if this is my purpose, I accept it." An hour later, she fainted in the hallway, collapsing like a falling tree. Meanwhile, the man she had saved opened his eyes in the ward. Confused and weak, he asked hoarsely, "What happened?" "You were found tied and bleeding," a nurse replied. "A girl saved you. She brought you here. She gave your blood." He struggled to sit up. "Take me to her." "Sir, you just regained consciousness." "Take me to her," he insisted. His tone, though weak, carried the weight of authority. When the door opened, he saw her, Amara, lying pale and fragile on a bed, hooked to 4 drips. Her wrapper was still dirty, her face gaunt, her hands limp. He whispered, voice cracking, "You saved me." Her eyelids fluttered open. She looked at him weakly. "You're alive." "I am, because of you," he said softly. Moments later, a man in a suit burst into the ward, panting. "Sir, thank God we found you. Everyone has been searching." The rescued man raised a hand, silencing him. His eyes remained on Amara. "What's your name?" "Amara," she whispered faintly. "From Enugu." He reached out his hand. "Amara, I am Obi, chairman of Obi Group. From this day forward, I owe you my life." The nurses gasped. Whispers spread quickly. The billionaire, saved by a homeless girl. The next morning, Obi discharged Amara and brought her to his mansion in Ikoyi. The house looked like a palace, gleaming marble walls, manicured gardens, fountains that sparkled in the sunlight. When the car door opened, Amara stepped out, clutching her nylon bag nervously. She stared at the mansion in disbelief. "This is your home now," Obi said gently. Her voice trembled. "Sir, I don't belong here. I can't. You gave me your blood." Obi interrupted firmly. "The least I can give you is peace." That night, Amara bathed in hot water for the first time in her life. She ate until her stomach was full, then slept on silk sheets. Lying in the comfort of the vast room, she whispered through tears, "Thank you, God." For the first time in weeks, her sleep was peaceful. The next day, Obi invited Amara to the garden. They sat at a marble table surrounded by fruit trees and flowers. Birds chirped softly in the background. "Tell me about yourself," Obi said, his tone fatherly. Amara hesitated, then spoke. She told him about Papa Uche's illness, Mama Uche's endless labor, her days at the construction site, and finally, Ada's betrayal. Obi's jaw clenched in anger. "That woman will answer for what she did to you." Amara shook her head. I don't care about her anymore. All I want is for my father to be healed. Obi looked at her steadily. What if I told you I could fly him abroad for treatment? Her eyes widened. Sir, why would you do that for me? Because when I had nothing, you gave me something money cannot buy. Humanity. Later that afternoon, Obi returned carrying a suitcase. He placed it on the table before Amara. Open it. Her hands trembled as she lifted the lid. Inside were neat stacks of dollar bills. She gasped, stumbling back, covering her mouth. No, sir, this is too much. I can't accept it. You can, and you must, Obi said firmly. Use it to rebuild your life, to care for your parents, to prove that dignity survives poverty. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Sir, I don't deserve this. Obi leaned closer, not for the girl who gave blood on an empty stomach to save a stranger. He placed another document on the table, a house deed. This is yours. You'll never be homeless again. Amara collapsed into her chair, sobbing uncontrollably. For the first time, her tears were not born of pain, but of freedom. The following morning, Obi stood by her side with a gentle smile. My jet is ready. Your parents will fly to India. Your father will be treated. Your mother will finally rest. And you will never beg again. Amara fell to her knees, but Obi lifted her gently. No, Amara. Stand tall. You survived what many would not. You are stronger than most I know. Her eyes lifted toward the sky. Papa, you will finally be healed. Her life, once written in pain, betrayal, and hunger, had turned into a story of hope and destiny. Moral: true kindness and dignity never go unnoticed. Even in the darkest hardships, integrity will open doors that wealth alone cannot.